There's a sentence people say about this decision that sounds like wisdom. Start with Medigap. You can always switch to Advantage later. Half of that is true. You can switch that direction almost any year you like, and nobody will stop you. It's the other direction that has a wall. But here's the part almost nobody mentions. Medigap has a wall of its own, a different one, quieter, and it catches the people who thought they'd made the careful choice. So by the end of this, you'll know where both walls stand, and the one stretch of your life when neither is there. First, something that trips up almost everyone. These two aren't competing products. They aren't even in the same category. Medicare Advantage replaces original Medicare. You join a private plan, and that plan handles most of your care instead. Medigap replaces nothing. It's a patch. You keep original Medicare, and Medigap pays the share original Medicare leaves behind. Which means the two can't work together. A Medigap policy pays nothing while you're in an Advantage plan. And most don't cancel themselves, so people go on paying for coverage they can't use. It's also against the rules for anyone to sell you one while you're enrolled, unless you're switching back. So this was never really Advantage versus Medigap. It's Advantage or original Medicare with a supplement bolted on and a separate drug plan beside it. And that third piece isn't optional. Medigap policies sold since 2006 can't include drug coverage at all. So unless you have other coverage that officially counts, you'll want a Part D plan beside it, and the longer you put that off, the more it can cost you. Two different machines, and each one has a door that turns mostly one way. Quick word before we go further. This channel is educational only, not financial, tax, or legal advice, and I'm not a registered investment advisor. Everything here comes from the government's own guides and the law itself, all linked below. And your state may give you more rights than the federal rules do. Start with the easy direction because it genuinely is easy. Going from Medigap to Advantage takes almost nothing. During open enrollment each fall, you sign up. That's the whole process. A pre-existing condition can't keep you out. Advantage plans generally can't turn you away for being sick. And that's why people call this decision reversible. In one direction, it truly is. Now the other way. Leaving an Advantage plan is simple too. You can go back to original Medicare each fall. And if you're already in an Advantage plan, there's a second window, January the 1st through March the 31st, though you only get one move in it. But original Medicare on its own has no ceiling on what you can spend in a year. So you'll want a supplement. And that is where somebody finally asks you a question. Because under federal law, Medigap insurers are allowed to look at your health first. They can ask what you've been treated for. They can look at your medical history. And depending on what they find, they can charge you more or turn you down. That's the wall. It isn't a deadline you missed. It's a door that opens most easily for the people who don't need it yet. There is one stretch of time when that wall isn't there at all. 6 months, beginning the first month you're both 65 and enrolled in Part B. And if you delayed Part B because you or your spouse were still working, it doesn't start until Part B does. The handbook calls it the best time to buy a Medigap policy. Read that phrasing again because it's being polite. What it's telling you is that afterwards, you may not be able to buy a Medigap policy at all, or it may cost more. 6 months, once, and most people spend it comparing dental benefits. There are exceptions, and they're worth knowing by name. Join an Advantage plan when you're first eligible at 65, and you generally get about 12 months to change your mind and still buy certain Medigap policies in your state. Drop a Medigap policy to try Advantage for the first time, and a similar right usually applies on the way back. Some other situations create protected rights too. Your plan pulling out of your area, an employer plan ending, a plan that broke its own rules, and some states give you additional rights beyond the federal ones. Those exceptions are real. They're also narrow. Outside of them, the wall stands. So Medigap starts to look like the safe answer. Buy it at 65, hold it forever, never think about this again. And there's a real reason people believe that. Any Medigap policy sold today is guaranteed renewable. The company cannot drop you for being sick, no matter how much they end up paying out, only for not paying, for not telling the truth on the application, or if the company itself goes under. That protection is genuine. It's the strongest thing Medigap has going for it, which is exactly what makes the second wall so easy to miss. In most states, Medigap policies are standardized. A Plan G from one company offers the same basic benefits as a Plan G from another. The benefits are set by law. Only the price is different, which raises a reasonable question. If the benefits are the same, why not just move to the cheaper company when your premium climbs? And now you already know part of the answer. Moving means applying, and applying means the health questions again. But it's worse than that. Outside your 6-month window and a handful of protected situations, federal law generally gives you no right to switch Medigap policies. A company may choose to sell you one, some will, but nothing obliges them to. That isn't a locked door. It's the absence of one. Here's what makes that quietly dangerous. There's more than one way these policies are priced. Some don't rise simply because you've aged. Others are priced on your current age and climb as you get older for no reason but another birthday. A policy like that may be the cheapest one on the table the day you buy it at 65. And it can be the most expensive by 85, which is precisely when your health history stops you moving anywhere else. So you don't end up trapped in a bad plan. You end up trapped in a good plan you can no longer afford. There's a way to get ahead of that, and you don't have to take my word for it. The government publishes the questions to ask. Two matter most. Do you price this policy by community rating, issue age rating, or attained age rating? And if it's attained age, how often does the premium go up because of my age? Ask those on the phone before you sign anything. They take about a minute. Before we finish all of it in one place, this is the part worth writing down. 1. They aren't two versions of the same thing. Advantage replaces original Medicare. Medigap sits on top of it. Hold both and the Medigap policy pays nothing. 2. Medigap to Advantage is the easy direction. Almost any year, and a pre-existing condition can't keep you out. 3. Advantage back to Medigap is the hard direction. Under federal law, the insurer may review your health and may say no, and the same wall blocks moving between Medigap policies later. 4. Your one clear window is 6 months, starting the first month you're both 65 and on Part B, later than that if you delayed Part B for a job. 5. The exceptions are genuine but narrow. Trial rights in your first year, a plan leaving your area, an employer plan ending, and broader protections in some states. And 6. Ask how any Medigap policy is priced, because one that rises with your age can price you out at exactly the age you can no longer switch. So which one is the trap? Neither. That's the honest answer. Advantage can be the right call. For someone who can't carry a supplement premium for the next 30 years, it often is, and Advantage plans may cover things Medigap simply doesn't. Dental, vision, hearing. Medigap generally covers none of it. So the higher premium isn't buying more coverage, it's buying predictability. Medigap can be the right call too. For someone who wants no networks and no permission slips, it usually is. What isn't neutral is the timing. During that 6-month window, both doors stand open, both directions, and nobody can turn you down or charge you more for being sick. Afterwards, that's only true if you land in one of the protected situations, and you don't get to choose whether you do. Every year, one of those doors gets a little harder to walk through, not because you did anything wrong, only because you got older, which was always the plan. So the real question was never which one you want today. It's which one you'd be willing to be locked into. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. It genuinely means a lot. If this video gave you something to think about, do one small thing. Subscribe to Retirement Decisions Desk. Every video here unpacks one retirement decision, and subscribing is how you'll never miss the next one. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.